Hello friends and welcome to the Architecture Enthusiast. Frank Gehry's approach to architecture and his public remarks have often sparked lively debates and controversies. His bold, no-holds-barred attitude towards design and architectural discourse is both celebrated and critiqued, reflecting his unique stance in the world of architecture and art. Gehry has not shied away from expressing his discontent with the norms of architectural design. He has been known to provide candid, even harsh critiques of the prevailing trends in architecture, often pointing out what he perceives as a lack of originality and passion in much of modern design. When it comes to criticism of his own work, Gehry has voiced his concerns about the limitations often imposed by clients, emphasizing the importance of creative freedom for architects. His comments reveal a frustration with the constraints that can hinder the creative process, arguing for more trust and latitude in the architect-client relationship. Renowned but not without controversy, Gehry has often found himself at odds with the label of starchitect. He has made it clear that he identifies first and foremost as an architect dedicated to his craft, distancing himself from the glamour and celebrity often associated with high-profile architects. Gehry's design process is sometimes viewed as unconventional or even chaotic. He champions an exploratory and intuitive approach to architecture, believing in the value of spontaneity and organic development over rigid, pre-planned structures. Regarding the historical context of architecture, Gehry has expressed views that suggest a preference for modern innovation. He appears to advocate for designs that boldly embrace contemporary ideas rather than strictly adhering to historical preservation. In his reflections on urban architecture, Gehry has critiqued the tendency to prioritize economic considerations over human and emotional factors. He advocates for architecture that connects more deeply with human experiences, emphasizing the need for buildings that evoke emotion and foster human connection. These perspectives highlight Gehry's provocative and innovative approach to architecture and design. His commitment to artistic freedom, disdain for mediocrity, and dedication to breaking the conventional mold have solidified his reputation as a leading and influential figure in contemporary architecture. His forthrightness and willingness to challenge norms have not only shaped his career but have also left a lasting impact on the field of architecture. The architectural tapestry woven by Frank Gehry is one where materials are not just mediums of construction but vital characters in a narrative of innovation and artistic expression. In Gehry's world, materials are liberated from conventional roles, transcending their traditional limitations to shape forms that challenge the very essence of architecture. At the core of Gehry's approach is a daring use of metal. He transforms this elemental material into a fluid, dynamic entity. The metal under Gehry's direction becomes a living, breathing skin for his buildings, undulating and shimmering, creating surfaces that play with light and shadow. This malleable nature of metal allows for sweeping curves and bold angles, lending his structures an organic, almost sculptural quality. The way sunlight dances on these metallic surfaces throughout the day gives the buildings a sense of life and movement, an ever-changing interaction with the natural world. Glass in Gehry's hands is not just a transparent barrier but a canvas of light and reflection. He uses glass to create facades that are not just windows to the interior but lenses refracting and reflecting the world outside. The glass facades in his designs often blur the lines between inside and outside, merging the building with its surroundings and inviting the landscape into the architectural dialogue. At times, the glass distorts and fragments the view, creating a dynamic interaction between the viewer and the environment. Concrete, often seen as the epitome of rigidity and uniformity, is reinvented in Gehry's architecture. He challenges its stoic nature, molding it into forms that defy its inherent weight and density. In his hands, concrete flows and curves, creating forms that seem almost impossible for such a heavy material. This reimagining of concrete allows for a robust yet dynamic foundation, grounding his whimsical metallic and glass elements in a solid reality. Wood, with its warmth and organic texture, plays a contrasting yet complementary role in Gehry's material palette. He often uses wood to bring a sense of natural comfort and approachability to his buildings. The wooden elements, whether used in interior paneling, flooring, or as an exterior feature, add a tactile dimension, inviting touch and interaction. The natural grains and colors of wood provide a counterpoint to the industrial coolness of metal and glass, creating a balance and harmony in his designs. In addition to these traditional materials, Gehry is known for his experimental use of unconventional materials. From chain-link fencing to corrugated metal, he incorporates materials often overlooked in conventional architecture. These materials, traditionally associated with utilitarian or industrial purposes, are elevated to an artistic status in Gehry's buildings. They add texture, depth, and a touch of the unexpected, further emphasizing his philosophy of breaking norms and embracing the unconventional. The effect of these materials on the form of Gehry's buildings is profound. They allow for a fluidity and flexibility in design, enabling structures that are free-form and dynamic. The materials do not just define the form, they become one with it, creating buildings that are not just constructed but sculpted. This symbiosis between material and form results in architecture that is not static but seems to be in a state of perpetual motion, an embodiment of Gehry's vision of an architecture that is alive and in constant dialogue with its inhabitants and its environment. In essence, the materials in Frank Gehry's architecture transcend their physical properties to become storytellers, narrating tales of innovation, surprise, and artistic daring. They are the instruments through which Gehry's architectural symphony is composed, playing a crucial role in shaping not just the physical form of his buildings but also their emotional and experiential impact. In the realm of modern architecture, the name Frank Gehry resonates as a symbol of radical innovation and daring design. His architectural philosophy transcends the mere creation of structures. It is an immersive, experiential journey that challenges the conventional boundaries of form, space, and material. Gehry's architecture is not just about buildings, it's about creating a dialogue between the structure and its surroundings, between the creator and the inhabitant, between art and functionality. Imagine walking through a city where the skyline is punctuated by the whimsical, free-form designs of Gehry. The buildings seem to dance with an almost fluid dynamism, defying the rigid geometry that dominates traditional architecture. The exteriors ripple and curve, reflecting the light in a kaleidoscope of colors, creating an ever-changing interaction with the sun and sky. As you approach one of these structures, you're struck by the unconventional use of materials. Gehry's ability to transform everyday elements into something extraordinary is evident. Metal panels are crafted to flow like fabric, glass distorts and refracts light in playful ways, and even the more traditional materials like wood and stone are used in manners that challenge their typical character. Entering a Gehry-designed building is akin to stepping into a different realm. The interior space defies expectations, with asymmetrical lines and unconventional angles leading the eye on an exploratory journey. The walls seem to undulate, the ceilings soar with an airy expansiveness, and the light filters in through unique angles, creating a lively and ever-changing environment. The interior is a testament to Gehry's belief that a building should not only be seen but also experienced, engaging all the senses. Walking through the corridors and open spaces, you notice how each area has its own character, yet there's a harmonious flow that ties the entire structure together. The playfulness of shapes and light gives a sense of movement, as if the building itself is alive and in a state of constant, graceful motion. This dynamism invites you to interact with the space in a personal way, encouraging exploration and discovery. Gehry's architecture also speaks to the landscape around it. It doesn't just sit in a location, it converses with it. Whether blending harmoniously with the natural surroundings or standing out as a bold statement in an urban setting, his buildings are deeply aware of their context. They are designed to be not just in a place but of the place, enhancing and being enhanced by their environment. In a Gehry-designed landscape, the distinction between art and architecture blurs. The buildings are sculptures on a grand scale, where function and form are interwoven with a masterful touch. They challenge viewers to reconsider their notions of what a building should be, pushing the boundaries of architecture into the realms of imagination and wonder. This experiential journey through Gehry's architecture is more than just a tour of physical spaces. It's an exploration of the potential of human creativity and ingenuity. Each structure stands as a testament to Gehry's fearless approach to design, a celebration of the unconventional, and a bold statement of the beauty that lies in breaking the mold. In the world of Gehry's architecture, buildings become more than structures, they become experiences, narratives in themselves, inviting you to be a part of their ever-unfolding story.